to a standing ovation, the 47th president.
A rapturous reception for a president who has always embraced spectacle.
Is there anybody else that has a walk-in?
Last night, in the middle of his trade war with the world, Donald Trump was attending another kind of fight. Amping up his image with some signature dance moves, he had a ringside seat alongside Elon Musk in Miami. His week of tariffs turmoil did not appear to have hit his popularity with this crowd at this mixed martial arts event, the kind of voters who played such a key role in his White House comeback.
Trump making his way.
The goalposts move again tonight in President Trump's trade war with China.
After days of rollbacks and reversals, businesses and broadcasters have been left catching their breath.
Yeah, it's a stunning reversal.
The Trump administration is slowly waking up to the reality.
The bond market is basically telling us that the world is now not confident in what we are doing.
Over the weekend, it was slipped out that smartphones, computers and other electronics are now going to be exempt from 125% tariffs that were slapped on Chinese imports. It's a major concession that could benefit Apple and other tech companies that import many of their products from China. Aboard Air Force One, the president, who has given no formal statement on this, told reporters more details are coming soon.
I'll give you that answer on Monday. We'll be very specific on Monday.
Are you suggesting
We're taking in a lot of money. As a country, we're taking in a lot of money.
But right after this came the strong suggestion these new tech exemptions are going to have a very short shelf life, as a grinning US Commerce Secretary deployed to calm nerves created more confusion.
We need to have these things made in America. We can't be reliant on Southeast Asia for all of the things that operate for us. So what he's doing is he's saying they're exempt from the reciprocal tariffs, but they're included in the semiconductor tariffs, which are coming in probably a month or two.
Donald Trump's opponents are divided over tariffs, but united in condemning the chaos created in the wake of what the president called Liberation Day.
It is a mistake to have the President of the United States out there just playing red light, green light and saying, oh, this morning I woke up and think the tariffs should be this big. Now I think they should be this big. Now I think they should be somewhere else.
On again, off again levies have created the most volatile period for financial markets since the pandemic. As the trade war with China continues to escalate, the worst could still be ahead.
Well, earlier I spoke to the entrepreneur, economist and Republican supporter Richard Runn, and I asked whether he agreed with Donald Trump that his tariff policy meant that money was already flowing into the US.
Well, all is not well because we don't know how all of this is going to play out. Now, the president is correct that other countries around the world have been taking advantage of the US, but the president came in with a much bigger artillery than he really needed. I would like to have seen things more targeted to countries who've done really outrageous things. I don't really like tariffs, but you can put them up as a way of negotiating and say, I slap you with a tariff, but my real objective is to get you to lower your tariffs.
Forgive me, you say the president should be hitting countries hard which have done America damage. Well, in terms of the trade imbalance, China's pretty much number one on that list, and he has hit them hard, hasn't he?
Well, China, that's a case unto itself. There's a lot of things wrong with the China relationship. The Europeans greatly discriminate against U.S. automobiles with tariffs and non-tariff barriers and things. That should be rectified. But I think that can be done more through negotiation.
Well, according to Donald Trump, at any rate, they're queuing up to do deals. Diplomatically, quite a success.
The president's plan could work, but the likelihood is it won't work the way he hopes. Ever since Adam Smith wrote his book in 1776 on the Wealth of Nations.
Wealth of Nations, yeah.
Saying tariffs are a bad idea. And virtually every economist understands they're a bad idea.
Okay, so Donald Trump's come up with too big tariffs, too heavy artillery, too much of a scattergun, as you see it. What effect is that going to have for the consumer in the street?
for the U.S. consumer, probably relatively small in certain areas because the amount of imports as a share of our economy is quite small. But I don't expect to see any big inflation from it. But other areas of the world could be very adversely affected.
And in terms of domestically, do you see a recession looming? There are some who do in the United States.
I don't think this will necessarily lead to a recession. But again, we're only in the early stages of this whole sort of tariff war.
And the other factor in all this is that President of the United States has been thoroughly spooked by the markets, hasn't he?
It's hard to tell. I mean, the president is, as we know, he's a unique person. And how much he had planned and understood what would happen versus what's happened, none of us really know.
But business demands stability, doesn't it? And what business is getting, let's face it, from the White House, by any stretch of the imagination, is chaos.
I mean, we like a perfectly stable world, but we never get one. So when you throw a firecracker and chicken soup, you know, you're going to get a mess. So.
Well, we'll end on that note of a mess. Richard Rand, thanks very much indeed.
Well, it's good to be with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks indeed for your time.